Welcome back to Logliners. Today on the podcast, we have finished as much as we are going to do of beats for Darwinism, so we are finally going to put some words on the page. This is actually our first podcast where we're ever writing, so we're going to see how awkward and terrible this is, especially if you're listening in your car.
Yeah, if you're listening in your car, sorry. This is terrible.
So typically when we write a screenplay together, we finish the whole beats. We have them either on a beat sheet or on Post-it notes or cards or something like that. Today, we have Dave has the beat sheet over here. So we're going to start with our opening scene, which if you've been following with Darwinism, the last 5,000 episodes we did about it, you've heard this opening scene over and over and over. So typically in a screenplay, you put interior or exterior and the location. So this movie starts exterior, graveyard.
Graveyard, night.
Graveyard, night.
All right,
that was a great podcast, everybody. We'll see you next time.
That's terrible.
Luke's going to have to trim this up because I have no idea.
Will, this is the first time we meet him, so we're going to put him in caps.
Yeah, let's read the beat that we have, and let's start kind of visioning.
Will is a graveyard watchman, and just finished checking death bells. He approaches each grave to inspect. Their death bells are still working. As he pulls the rope on each one, he rings and he repeats, "Still dead, still dead." One bell's rope is detached. Uh-oh. Well, I'm sure he was dead. He reattaches it. Will finishes his test and stands over looking at all the graves. Tonight's going to be a good night, and a bell starts ringing madly.
So, wide shot, a misty graveyard, old-timey graves with old-timey graves. And this is where people like burn our script with old-timey graves. We hear, and everybody's going to say, you don't put we hear, we see in a screenplay, and we just say, shut up, you're dumb. Ding, 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 ding.
And that was Steven Spielberg saying that.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg, shut up, you're dumb. We hear the ding, ding, ding of a tiny bell. So then, what do you think? Close on a bell? Ding, 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 ding. Like, trying to be like follow back from a bell
I would
or
say,
something?
wide, and then probably just the bell, and then Will's face coming up to it. And still dead.
Close on a tiny dangling bell in the middle of the graveyard. Middle of the graveyard. Will, a face leans toward the bell.
He pulls a string attached.
This is
to
Will. How old is Will?
40s.
40s. We're just going to put any race. I think typically...
Yeah, any race.
It's fine.
You know you had to put any race. You just put 40s.
You could just put white.
40s must be white.
Native American.
There's actually like a thing that people talk about that's like default white when people read screenplays, because like for many years like readers of screenplays have been white and people that make movies have been white. So there's a thing called default white. So like if you're a white person and you're reading, you just make them like in your mind, you read Will 40s and you're like, okay, it's like a white guy, you know, and that's like happened for years.
Yeah,
so
I can definitely see that.
This is Will.
Will Smith.
This is Will Smith. Okay, that's good. 40s. What is he wearing?
Oh, that's his actual name.
Just put it in.
Okay, no, that's fine.
What is he wearing?
Graveyard watchman clothes.
Yeah, like 1800s.
Like
he's in
really like dirty tunic. Basically,
he's in a filthy tunic.
Like covered in mud. Like he's been
digging graves. He's been digging graves all day. He's in a filthy tunic.
With the
pipe. That's literally him. Does he have a pipe?
No.
Yeah, he probably has a cape too.
Ding-a-ling. I'm going to change ding-ding-ding to ding-a-ling.
That makes sense.
Ding-a-ling of a tiny bell.
Yeah, this looks like a graveyard watchman right here.
Oh, yeah, that's him. That's Will. He's in a filthy tunic. Ding-a-ling. He taps the bell. Will, loving his job.
Yeah, he's got to be real chipper.
Loving-
Still dead?
So yeah, I'm putting a parenthetical in here, which is typically like a couple of words, just a little description. And I think it's usually like for the actors, it's something that, just to give them like some kind of tone to work with.
Whispering.
Loving his job. Still dead. I don't know why that's not auto formatting for me, but
Like over.
interesting.
Because like it's making the parenthetical like the actual dialogue. Is that what's happening?
Oh, good point. Good point. So we're using Final Draft, and sometimes, typically it formats for you, but you have to tell it loving his job. Thank you, Kyle. You have to tell it what type of piece of writing you're doing. Like an action, will be over on the left side. Character names are usually, I think, some weird spacing, but it's like in the middle.
Almost middle, yeah.
Still dead. Will walks around the graveyard. Will continues through the graveyard. I'm just going to put yard. I don't like
That's fine.
too many words.
Yeah.
Dinging bells. Suddenly.
So I think he's finished dinging bells, or we add. I wasn't sure if we add the one that he the rope wasn't attached and he ties and he's, I'm sure he was still dead.
Yeah. He comes to a bell.
Is it Charles'
With
bell? Because that
an
is a plant that
untied.
we never went back
I
to.
think so. I think he was probably dead, and then it's.
And then later on,
like,
he can find out that it was not tied, and he'd be fucking pissed at him.
He's like, I was in there for days.
he comes to a bell with an untied string. Uh-oh. He ties it on. He ties it back on.
Well, I'm sure he was dead. And then he pats the tombstone, and it
I'm
says
sure he
Charles
was dead.
Darwin.
He pats the tombstone.
That reads Charles Darwin, I guess.
That reads,
Here lies Charles Darwin.
Wait, so like this is a prank
It's a
that
prank.
he was
So
buried.
he made a tombstone for
He
him,
made
too.
he made a prank tombstone. I
Yeah.
really like that. What would he like if he was really trying to get his guff? Like
The
what
worst discoverer ever. The worst biologist ever.
worst biologist ever? It's not even
no,
funny.
What,
I love
what
it.
was his main discovery? Finches. So
Finch,
it's just
nature
like,
versus nurture, right?
yeah,
Or the theory of evolution.
right. But like in finches, right? Mainly was the main
In
thing.
finches, were I have no.
Here
I have
lies
no
Charles
It's a
idea.
Darwin.
giant finch statue.
He fucked a lot of finches.
Yeah, it's him fucking.
The finch fucker. You could put under it.
Charles Darwin. Pan down. to handwritten graffiti.
Why? With a quill?
Yeah.
Finch fucker. This is not even funny, dude.
No,
I
it's
love
not.
it.
Kyle agreed. Nah. It's
Suddenly,
That's
I mean,
great.
what? Someone will punch it up. Somebody's gonna come in here. and
Yeah,
make it.
yeah,
Someone,
yeah,
punch it up.
the actors, the
Yeah.
actors are gonna come in and
Yeah,
make it
someone
funny.
else will make it
Yeah,
better.
don't worry about it. Suddenly, what's the word that I use in screenplays way too much?
Blast.
Blasts.
Yep.
Yeah, a hand blasts through the.
No. He's looking over the grave. Will finishes. He kind of slaps
So he
his hands
ties it
together
up.
like, tonight's gonna be a good. And then pause while the hand rips out of the bell starts ringing like mad. Tonight is gonna be a good.
So I don't know if he busts through or he actually has to like dig him.
He
back
digs him out.
Yeah.
We have that in here actually. He digs him out.
Digs him out.
Yeah.
Like, can his hand? Because I feel like for a visual, again, I say this all the time, the Billy Butcher thing. But like, can Darwin's hand, like, it says like Charles Darwin, Finch fucker, and it keeps like panning down or craning down, and then it's like, and the hand like pops out of the
We
ground.
just wanted him to be like helpless, like a fish, like out of water, like help me. And he's like, you're able to get out of this.
This is very soft soil, sir. It's gonna be a good night.
Like, you should just tried. And he just pushes it up. He wasn't even buried that deep. 2 inches. gonna be a girl.
Blammo.
Yeah,
A hand-
like Blammo.
A hand
That's a good
pops
one.
out of the dirt.
Not as good as Blast, but Blammo is okay. It works.
So shitty.
Yeah, we should.
I feel like this-
change every Blammo
just
to a
on, like,
Blast
the-
anyway.
Formatting and like length of the movie side, I feel like this should be like pretty short.
Yeah.
It's already like
Yeah, it's pretty lengthy.
that's all right. A hand pops out of the dirt.
And he Will
Panics.
Yeah, Will panics, grabs his shovel, and starts digging.
Grabs a nearby shovel. Starts digging.
And then
A
starts
face
digging,
appears.
or maybe just starts digging with his hands because he's gonna be like
spitting.
pummeling Darwin.
Yeah.
Hitting with the
Will
shovel.
panics, starts shoveling with his hands. A face appears, spitting dirt and cursing. Darwin. Help me! Get me the fuck out of here! Now let's give
So I guess right now, are we gonna decide to call him Darwin or Charles in the script?
That's a
What's
good point.
the,
I feel like
'cause
calling him
we
Darwin in the script is like
should define that now before you.
Yeah,
write,
I think
like,
that's a
every
great-
which way. And
that's
then
a
we're
great
like,
point.
Oh, this is confusing. I'm fine with Darwin. I mean, I just want to.
no, I don't know. I don't know. But then,
be,
like, I feel like down the line, it's gonna not feel as personal. You know, let's call him Charles.
Let's call him Charles. I'm fine with that.
You know, I've been writing with Highland once in a while, like switching back and forth, and I feel like Highland does like a better job of the auto formatting.
Oh, it's a different script.
Were you just
program.
having a problem with the auto format of just like the dialogue right there? Like it wasn't.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking. I was so typically like I think there's something you can switch inside Final Draft where when you write, say I write a name, automatically it's going to assume the next thing I'm going to do is dialogue. So
I
if I
think
just
that's what
hit
mine's
enter,
on.
yeah. So this I don't think it's
just
turned on
didn't
right
do
here.
That? Oh, it should be doing it. I guess maybe it just got weird for that.
I don't know. I think it's time to describe Darwin.
Yes.
We're at the bottom of page 1. Let's tell people who's about to pop out. This is Charles Darwin. And I know I don't know like what the rules are here, but like you know, I think you want to kind of tell people what he looks like, but you get away with like a little bit.
I think he should definitely be like overdressed,
Yeah, very
he's
like
over-
prim
like
and
this,
proper.
very prim and proper.
Like he powders his hair probably. Is a
He's
thing he
overdressed for
does, right?
even
You
a
would
dead
say
man.
He powders his hair.
Prim and
Or
proper,
even a dead man.
aside from the soil.
The-
What? Was there a movie already? That's great. I hope it was a comedy.
Terrible. Oh my god.
Like what? We never really talked about what age are we making. It doesn't matter at all, right? It doesn't matter.
What age are we making Charles?
Yeah, Charles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
later age.
Later age.
days.
Because I feel like it's kind of
60s,
important. Is he bald or like
50.
you know?
I don't
50
think he's
to
bald.
60, like late, like
I think he looks exactly like Danny
yeah,
McBride.
mid 50s basically. Mid 50s is a slightly
This is Charles
older
Darwin,
version of Danny
50s.
McBride right now.
He's overdressed for even a
Timeline
dead
will be
man.
weird,
Prim
but-
and proper, aside from the soil.
Because realistically, I think he'd be like 80. He'd be ancient. Like I picture him more as like Rip Van Winkle sometimes in real life. Like if time was in the same.
Help me, goddammit.
Help me, God damn it! There's a snake in my boots.
Charles Darwin. You son of a bitch.
He tips his cowboy hat. Help me, motherfucker!
All right. Did you want to add some line from Will, or are we not worried about?
All right, let's read the. Jeez.
Sorry.
Has a COVID-20.
Yeah.
A bell rings and Will digs
30.
Charles Darwin out of a grave. Darwin grabs the bell and storms off as Will follows. So Will digs up the grave, a hand is seen, and Will grabs it and begins pulling him out. We see Charles Darwin pop his head through and begins coughing. I can't breathe. Get me out of here, you idiot. Will digs faster, and Darwin is clearly out enough to help himself. Will finally pulls him completely out. Darwin grabs the bell and begins marching down the street.
I can't breathe. Get me out of here, you idiot. Charles has his arms freed. Charles is freed to his arms. Like, it gets... I can see it when you explain it, when you read that
Like he's
card,
sitting up.
but then it's like a weirder thing when you start putting it in the screenplay and you're like, all right, what is it like?
Yeah, we have to break that down.
What
even
does
more.
it
Sitting
look
up
like
and
to
his
the guy
legs
that's
are
shooting
still,
this
like,
movie?
buried, basically.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't breathe. And you're like, yo, you're like above the ground right now. You're okay. And your arms are free. You can just dig yourself out.
That's what Will should say. All
Yo, you're above the ground right now. I like that, but in his way.
Yeah.
Charles, you're above the ground. You can breathe completely fine. Just take some deep breaths.
And he takes a deep breath and he inhales like a ton of dirt. Coughs it
Sir,
out. And he's like,
you're above the
son of a
ground. This is
bitch.
very
You're
loose
a
soil.
liar."
Stand up, sir. Charles emerges. This is like a low angle, like from the ground. He like
Slow motion,
stands up
epic kind
as
of.
darts pouring off. Motherfuckers! And he grabs the bell. Charles emerges. Dirt falling.
He doesn't even need to say anything. He just furiously grabs the
Right.
bell. My bell? And he starts marching off.
He grabs the bell, marches off. Furious.
Exterior.
Does
Cobble.
Will say, my bell?
Yeah. He's, my bell? And he follows.
I think we could just cut and then we could, because Will's gonna have more dialogue, like as he follows him, or
Yeah. So we're gonna go like exterior streets, like we're like kind of foggy cobble streets.
exterior streets,
And-
night, cobblestone,
It's like a long dolly
Sounds like a
shot
wet-
following him.
wet cobblestones. This is England. Like
Yeah, it's
some
wet
kind
and
of
dreary,
1800s.
Foggy.
like this.
They get a lot of rain there.
I think we should just keep
Grab
going
your
with this. Yeah.
umbrella, sir.
Wet cobblestones. This is England, like some kind of 1800s. Will chases Darwin.
Will chases Darwin. Darwin's marching. Will catches up like in the frame in the long dolly. Like, Mr. Darwin, can I have my bell, please? As they approach, like you see some
Like the
illuminating
town
light.
hall,
Yeah.
like main
You hear some chattering from the town hall.
entertainment venue, whatever. Town square, town hall.
So, all right. So, what do we see? You know, when do we see the town hall, and what do we see?
Yeah, I think it's just a long,
So it's a long-
dolly
yeah.
shot. Charles Darwin marching down. We see Will jump in frame to catch up to him. Mr. Darwin, sir, can I have my bell? You hear chattering coming from as the dolly shot's approaching the town hall, and you see some light spilling on him. Then, Charles, and then he kicks open the door. Cut to wide
Sorry,
shot.
I got
Yeah.
lost. I apologize. Can you go back? Like, so he's chasing down. Power walks down the street. He's getting chased.
Will
What's
runs
the
in
next?
frame. Will runs into the frame. So
Okay.
Will
Will,
catches
like,
up and he's
catches
like,
up with him.
Mr. Darwin, can I have my bell? We hear chattering and some light spilling onto him as he approaches the town hall. And then shot lands at the town hall and he
You see
barges
that
in.
there's like almost like a party from the outside.
What is the
that's going
town
on.
hall?
Look
It's
like?
a building. Are we
Yeah.
talking about? Okay.
So it's like
so
a
they're
big,
approaching the front entrance of a building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the community square. Like there's an event going on in this
I'm
building.
wondering if the if
This is exactly what I think
does
of
the
when I think
scene
of it,
header
actually.
change?
Like that. That's exactly it.
Okay.
So it's a dolly shot, and then him kicking open the door.
Got it.
And then I would say it's
as we approach an old-timey town hall. They're gonna throw this script out of the fucking. What would you call that? A town hall.
Yeah, an old town hall. Literally, this says old town hall.
Like Victorian or something, right? Would they be, like, I'm wondering what the era would be. A Victorian town hall.
This was built in 1798.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
large
Victorian.
two-story brick
Georgian.
building. Yeah, late Georgian, early federal style.
What would be England 1800s buildings?
Gothic.
Gothic.
I mean, you can go Gothic. I don't
The
think
Gothic
it's
castle.
I don't think it's
Do they have
Gothic,
it?
though, really.
A Victorian town hall. As Darwin reaches...
Yeah, this also looks...
Good
Yeah.
enough. The large front door. We hear chattering. A party. The streets get brighter as we approach a Victorian town hall. Darwin reaches the door.
He kicks it open. Then I would
Boom.
say cut to interior town hall. I would say like a mid shot on him.
He kicks it open.
Looking around.
And then we're inside.
Mm-hmm.
Interior. Town hall. Night. Boom. Darwin's...
Blast the door open.
Yeah, the door blasts open.
Thank you. We needed that. The first blast, everybody.
We did it.
We got it over with.
A
Now
gasp.
for the next 30. Blast counter. Luke, put it on.
I don't think anyone notices.
Oh, nobody notices. Okay. Door blasts open, revealing Darwin. How would I say? Like, everybody, I've said Darwin like 16 times already.
Yeah, I know.
And I need to write Charles, right? We
right.
already had this
Yeah.
conversation.
Charles,
That's okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Like, in context, obviously, it makes sense. Like, Will saying it like that, but yeah.
I think this is a great moment where he's looking around and we go point of view, kind of him like looking
Okay.
at, so we see kind of those eyes and people like completely obliterated drunk.
So we're inside the town hall. I love this medium shot of Darwin. I'm just like, how do we communicate that to whoever's reading this script without being like so specific, like
you have
medium
to,
shot?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
tell them what they want, and then it's
so like
never
I
gonna
envision
happen.
it too. Like, he kicks the door open from the outside, and then we cut to the inside, but we don't see the party yet. We just see
Like,
We hear
cut
furious
to
Darwin.
Yeah.
doors inside. Furious Charles.
Takes 2 strides
Are we still
into a busy party. Townspeople. No, what would they be called? Not royals. Like, because it's like rich people, right? Aristocrats.
I guess, maybe.
Aristocrats?
Yeah.
Aristocrats.
Look that up, Luke. Let us know.
And then this whole script becomes like an aristocrats joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. High society. I don't really
I still
know
don't
if
find
they're
that
like-
funny at all.
What's that?
The aristocrats joke. Have you heard of this? Like, it's like a.
Oh, you never heard that? Okay,
talking
so
about?
there's a family, and they all, I don't actually
Yeah,
know.
no,
Like,
it's
I don't
not
think
even
there's
funny.
real rules. It's just like a family shows up to be in like a circus or a show or some kind of type of thing, right?
And then you just say the worst thing you can think of or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Aristocrats, 30s to 80s, mingle around in revelry.
Should they be mumbling things like, it's been a while since I've hung somebody. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. They don't notice Charles, right?
Yeah, they don't.
In the crowd, Walla.
In the crowd,
We hear their
Ding dong.
conversations. Partygoer Chet.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've hung someone, right? and this is off screen, right? We don't like see this person talking, right?
No.
I think we should be following Darwin. We follow Darwin through the party, maybe. So he
I like
kicks
that.
the door open. You see him like take 2 steps in. He's pissed off. Nobody notices him, and he starts walking through. And you hear, and then maybe it reverses or something, and you hear these things.
Yeah, I think he just pushes that person like out of the way. Like he's just stiff arming people.
We follow Darwin, who walks slowly into the busy crowd. Aristocrats mingle around in revelry. They don't notice Charles. In the crowd wallow, we hear their conversations. Partygoer chat. It's been a while since we hung someone, hasn't it? And then, like, partygoer Steve says, what? This is so dumb. We're going to have to change all of this if anyone's going to, like, read it.
No, I definitely want to cast someone as partygoer
Partygoer Steve.
Partygoer Steve.
What does partygoer Steve say?
Yeah, it's been about 15 hours.
No, man, you don't remember we hung like Nancy?
Like, look right here.
A name, like give it a.
She's still kicking.
Oh, this is bad.
Up. Yeah.
We still burn witches. Yeah. This is supposed to be a witch burning party.
It is a witch burning party.
Yeah.
Because someone basically, what we had was someone called him out, and then Idris just made him a witch and convinced everybody to burn him or her. Man witches.
Which was like
maybe it's not like it's been a while since we hung someone. Maybe it's like I've always said this. There is nothing like a witch burning party. You've always said that.
I like that better.
We still burn witches? So what is he, Charles? People start to notice him, you think? Or, he's covered in dirt.
I think that's the greatest part.
Nobody cares.
Nobody notices or cares.
Charles
Maybe someone says that, like, this guy's covered in dirt? And he's like, what a fool.
I really like all these jokes, but what I'm wondering... It's too much for the script, but, like, if we were making this movie, I think what we would do is have this, like, side script that's like, here's all the shit we're going to add when we do... like ADR, you like punch, stuff that we would just like don't tell the people that are paying for this movie all this stuff, but like we're gonna put.
I mean, some of the lines will that makes sense because that is something.
The witch burning thing's gonna come back,
but also the fact that we don't have to say like, look at this guy with dirt. We see that no one's recognizing him, and that's the ego part of the theme of it. Where he's just like, look at me, I'm Charles Darwin. You're not even looking at me.
I'm one of the greatest discoverers of all time, and now I'm covered in dirt.
So, I agree with that. I just don't know right now where we're at. If we want people to see that, I think we got to make that come through in action. Whatever Charles is doing has to kind of say that. He's looking for Idris, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Are we going to change Idris's name at this point, or no? We're going to just finish this script with we literally call him Idris Elba.
I think we call him Idris.
Oh, we just call him Idris. Okay. It's just going to help us. I think we go find and replace later on, when we call him, like...
Darwin.
Elba.
yeah. Okay.
Elphaba.
Charles is looking for someone. He reaches the back of the party, where... a tall man is entertaining a raptured crowd. The man's back is to Darwin.
I think
to Charles. So, basically he reaches Idris, and Idris is, like, telling a story or something, and whatever he says here, I do think should be important.
The Queen gave me the money.
Yeah.
That would be important to put in the dialogue, then.
I don't know that it should be important in, like, the... what am I trying to say? In like the plot sense, like this is probably something or a place in which we know writing this script, we're going to put some dialogue in here, but when we reach the end of this script, when we kind of flesh out who Idris is and what his arc is, we're going to come right back to this first thing that he says, and we're going to make it parallel something later in the script that's like, oh, So what I'm saying is we're probably going to write a throwaway right here, knowing that it's going to change. As he pontificates, I'm going to change a lot of these words because these are the ones that are coming to me, but I feel like it's all good. A little flowery for like a screenplay.
About like a rated R Dr. Dolittle screenplay.
Tall man.
I think he doesn't hear him. He's hey, and then he yells, and the town hall goes
okay,
quiet.
so we don't hear, like, he doesn't approach.
I don't think
Idris
Charles
as like he's talking to people. Okay,
I think he can, but I think Charles is trying to get his attention, and he's not hearing it.
Does the audience hear what Idris is
here,
saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think he definitely can be. It can either be like a shot of behind Idris's head, and you can hear him, or in front, and you see Charles kind of in the background, and he's telling this story.
Should he be telling the story of how he buried Charles?
Sure.
That's kind of like...
He's like, you can't believe this?
It actually just gives our audience, like, the what just happened,
I think so.
Okay.
So he was drunk, and we actually had him walk into his own grave.
And he's like, hey. He like started to hear him, and he's just like ignoring him. Like he definitely can hear him.
And one of the aristocrats is just like
pointing and looking over, like, and he's like ignoring him still.
I've never heard a man walk into his own
grave.
We
We literally had him dig his own grave. He walked.
We said there was a great discovery there, and he just kept digging and digging. He walked into the grave, and we threw dirt on him.
We threw dirt on him. That's the whole thing.
How long ago was this? 2 days? Don't they have those silly little bells you can ring, just in case this happens?
So I can't remember. So I'm writing tall man as Idris's character because we don't know who this is yet in the movie.
Yes.
There's voiceover off screen and off camera. I don't actually know in this setting where you see somebody's back, where their back is turned. I think maybe we don't need to write it in there. I'm just not so sure that the reader of this script is going to understand we don't see him yet. So I think I would put off screen or off cam. I don't know if it's off screen or off camera. I don't know what the kind of the rule is, but I'm going to put off camera for now. I want whoever's reading this, I want them to understand that, like, we haven't introduced the villain yet.
Yeah.
Charles yells, "Hey!" Tall man doesn't hear.
Yeah, I think off camera might be like behind camera. Off screen might be like to the side.
Yeah, right. So it's like, what would this be? He's on camera, you can't see him. Maybe it's parenthetical. So I'll put in the parenthetical, I'll put back to us.
Yeah, that would be better.
Okay, his back to Charles. That's still confusing, honestly. It's confusing. But I feel like whoever's reading this is going to be like, I don't want them to stop and be like, But, again, who fucking cares? We'll change it. So, he was drunk, like blackout drunk. We told him there was a great discovery. He dug, hey! And tall man doesn't hear. He dug for like 4 hours. He literally... My 1800s voices are all going to be exactly the same.
I say literally a lot too. Literally.
He literally dug his own grave.
And then one of the aristocrats is like, definitely Beck Bennett. I wish my wife could do that.
Exactly, yeah.
Am I writing that in there?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Beck Bennett.
Character. Beck Bennett.
Yeah, party goer Beck Bennett.
Party goer Beck Bennett is better, yeah. Party goer Beck Bennett. This is all men so far.
I mean, it's
I wish
royalty in England in the 1800s. Unfortunately, that is it.
And that's off screen.
But.
And then, all right, so what do we have here?
Have more women, so.
We have Charles. What does Charles say here? Hey, motherfucker. It's just when it's Danny McBride, I always feel like it's just.
I know you say motherfucker a lot.
You know,
I think screaming "hey" louder in the town hall goes quiet.
Yeah, so it's like a classic, like bust into a crowded room, no one's noticing you. You're trying to get the attention of a person, they're ignoring you. You get progressively louder, and then everybody in the room kind of like starts to pay attention to you.
The crowd quiets down. Slowly, tall man turns his head.
Oh, Charles.
Revealing.
I'm glad you can make it to the party.
Revealing Idris Elba.
Yep.
50s. Is that how old Idris Elba will be by the time?
50s,
I don't even know how old he is.
Handsome.
Yeah, I mean, if he's in his 50s
well
now,
put
he'll
together.
be in his 50s for the next at least 20 years.
He's well dressed, perfect posture,
48.
in command of himself and the room. Idris. Charles.
So glad you could make it to the party. I was just telling my friends here about how I buried you alive.
Does he say that? All right, what do we?
Idris approaches Charles. I'm so glad you can make it. Charles shows him the bell. Do you think bury me alive is a fucking prank? The town hall quiets down. We notice a man drinking heavily and his eyes are turned over. Will tries to grab the bell. So Will shows up after chasing him through the crowd. Idris' lackey stands next to him chuckling. So we have to introduce Idris' lackey. Charles puffs out his chest. I'm the theory of evolution guy. The town hall goes in an uproar with laughter. So they just go back to partying after he says that.
Yeah.
I'm the theory of evolution guy.
All right, Charles. So glad you could make it. You think bury me alive is a fucking prank? Is this a back and forth? Sorry, what do we have in there?
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. You think bury me alive is a fucking prank? The town hall quiets down, which has already happened. When you notice a man drinking heavily and his eyes are turned over.
I can move that. Let me turn the crowd quiets down. I like that better.
Instead of hey again.
Yeah. Well, no, he yells hey, and then Idris turns.
And then
you know,
yells,
like in
Idris
yeah.
turns, revealing himself.
And then the crowd quiets down.
Town hall quiets down. We notice a man drinking heavily and his eyes are turned over. Will tries to grab the bell, so Will.
Does Idris respond to him at all?
Though.
You think burying him alive is a fucking prank? Does Idris say anything? Old friends, old habits, something, you know, like. Does he say anything about like?
I think he might say something, and then Charles cuts him off right away. Like,
everybody, my old friend Charles Darwin. You know, like, should he kind of, you know, like,
just
try
says,
to like.
Everybody, my old friend. He's like, they know who I am. I'm the theory of evolution guy. And they all just start laughing at him. And then we just have Beck Bennett, or one of the aristocrats, just go, what a prick.
I'm the theory of everything guy. And he's like, in a wheelchair. It's not funny.
Hey.
No, that was good, dude. That was good.
Thank you guys. Very, very timely joke. I'm the theory of evolution guy. The crowd bursts into laughter. Will sneaks up quickly and grabs the bell.
He tries to. and
tries to grab the bell.
Darwin's like, what are you doing? Like, get out of here. What are you doing? I just.
So I'm the
I
theory
kind of, you know
evolution
what?
guy.
There's a joke here that I feel like we're missing. It's not like a funny joke or anything, but
We're missing jokes everywhere. So tell
the
us.
idea that he's holding a bell the whole time is kind of funny. Like this, like the whole front end of
Should
this
be
movie, he should be
ringing, yeah.
dinging like
Yeah.
as he's walking up the street. It's like,
Yes.
ding, 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 you know, like as he's walking through the party, you should kind of hear that bell. It's not funny. It's just like,
Nah, I like it.
all right.
Ring ding dong.
Sorry, Will sneaks up to grab the bell.
Will sneaks up to grab the bell. Where are we at on this? On the theory of evolution guy, the crowd bursts into laughter.
Yep.
Will tries to grab the bell. Darwin like dodges him to grab the bell. Quickly moves it out of the way. Idris lackey stands next to him, chuckling. So we have to introduce Idris's lackey. And what is his
Can we
name?
call him the cat? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we call him Martin Freeman? Who's the like
Billy?
Billy?
Billy.
Billy Eichner?
Yeah, so Billy.
That's who we're.
Billy. 40s.
Or no, you're right. It's a lot of men. We can go. We had the one turtle we turned into the sister. We don't know who that is.
Okay, so we'll
Maybe
just
like Aubrey
Plaza
Plaza
was the
like
turtle. But she would be great
Right.
as like
let's
a
call it
lackey.
Aubrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also I could picture her being almost like a cat person as well. If we want to go that
I'd like her
route.
being that, and then we can do Anna
Aubrey.
Kendrick as the
Wait, how about so it's not a cat. We kind of went away from the whole like
an actual cat.
Smurfs thing that we were going for
Yeah.
before. Gargamel. Could she be carrying a cat the whole time? Like is that just weird or is like
It's weird.
still like the cat thing where it's like
She's
like she
super
makes
weird.
like cat noises but like
Yeah, she can make cat noises. That's fine.
Okay. Aubrey, 30s, slithers from behind. Idris. Does she say anything? She's just, like what am I? The people reading the script are gonna be like, "What's that?"
That's exactly what they
you know what I
want them
mean?
to
Like,
think.
because you don't
Yeah.
want to just. I feel like there's this weird I feel like when we're writing these screenplays, I don't want to write something that the reader of the screenplay
Has no
doesn't
knowledge of
understand. Like,
because-
this is the lackey. You know what I mean?
Right.
But also, there's got to be a fine balance because, like, through the movie, if I'm watching the movie and I just see Aubrey, and I'm like, well, who was that?
Okay.
In 20 minutes, I'm gonna be like, oh, she's the lackey. You know what I mean? But it's like when you're reading,
so what
it's
if
harder.
Idris is, all right, Charles says this, everyone's laughing, and he looks defeated, and Idris is looking at him, and the lackey pulls behind, she's kind of laughing, and Idris grabs the bell from Charles, and he's like, Charles, you look like a fool ringing this through the town hall. Maybe that's why they're laughing at you. Hands it to Aubrey. So it's like, oh, you know that she's like his assistant lackey.
Yeah. I like it. Okay.
And then she's like ringing it in front of Will because she knows he wants it.
Charles, you look like a fool. He snatches the bell, ringing this through the town hall.
Does this bell come back? It's like
It
a
has to
plant.
now.
Now
Looking
I'm
for
like-
attention.
Right. Well, we had the conch shell, which is like, but the bell like rings for despair. Like I'm in trouble. That can, yeah.
He's got to be. He gets buried again, right? Doesn't we talked about this like a while ago, but kind of missed it. And there's also an interesting parallel with like turtles bury their eggs, and turtles bury shit.
And then Will's like, "Where is Darwin?" And then he hears that bell, and he's
He hears
like,
the
"I can hear
bell.
the death bell from a mile away."
I know a death bell when I hear it.
Unfortunately,
The weirdest thing is dead people can still ring bells.
I've had it happen
Digging
twice.
and digging and then burying and burying again. You have no idea. Okay. He snatches the bell, ringing this through the town hall, looking for attention.
and then he hands it over to Aubrey.
Don't belittle yourself. He hands the bell to Aubrey.
She hisses at Charles.
How about Will is like, miss? Actually, this bell is my bell. I'm going to write that as dialogue. She hisses at him, taunting him with the bell. So how about let's enjoy this evening together, Charles. And then Charles is like, so we got to get to the point in this movie that's, right now we have the funny introduction to the characters. I think we're on page 4. It's time to get into what is this movie about, you know?
So what we have here is I'm the theory of evolution guy, and Idris says, like, you are. I envy you for that. I was just having a bit of fun, the way you used to tease me. Idris hands him a drink. Idris lackey hands one to Will, and Will takes it. Charles pushes his drink away. I don't know if I'm just reading what we have, but I think you're right. I think this needs to kind of speed up. But I do like that he leaves, and then he chases him out. One sec.
I feel like it needs to get to a point, and I don't know how we do this, but we talked about, one of the last episodes, we talked about Charles Darwin's goal for this movie is, I'm gonna be famous again, right? Is that right or wrong? I'm gonna be the biggest discoverer of things in history. So I would say he needs to be prodded by Idris a little bit. Basically, sort of the idea, like Idris says something along the lines of like, look, Charles, that time in your life has passed. You did a good job. You hung up the cleats or whatever, however he would say it in the 1800s. Congratulations on your hard work, but you're retired or whatever it is. It's like your days of discovering are over. I think, I don't know how we get there in this, but and then it's bringing up some bigger questions for me tonight. Like we're talking about, they're celebrating a witch burning, but there's also like the other setups of the movie that we had, which was like Charles owes the government some money. We got to get into that like now. True. And Idris is gonna follow him. So I think this maybe is a good point to break for the podcast, and we'll get some of those things sorted out and finish up this scene to get this movie moving. Is that good?
I agree.
Cool.
Agreed.
Let's wrap it.
Cool.